Hi, good morning. Good morning, everybody, and I'm so glad that you could come to our meeting today, the Library Budget Committee meeting that we've had scheduled. And today we are going to be talking about library purchases specifically for our collection of books. And because this is a budget committee that covers the entire Oak Mountain School Zone, we're going to be talking a little bit about books for younger readers and also books for older high school readers, and maybe a little bit in between for the middle school readers. And so one of the things that I thought we could do in order to really talk about the best way to choose the new books for our collection is to talk about some of the awards that are available for children's literature that can kind of help us make some really good decisions on how we spend our money. Since we are spending taxpayer dollars, we need to be really cognizant of creating kind of a varied collection, but one that really is respectful of kids as readers and learners, interesting books and books that we can kind of be guaranteed are the best of the best. All right, so what I have done is I've made a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to share with you, and we are going to look over what some of these awards are and how they will help us make some good decisions on how we spend our money. As part of this committee, for those of you that may not know, is comprised of administration, teachers, and parents. Okay, so I know that some people are familiar with some of these awards and some people aren't, so we are going to kind of go through just a few, and I have already given you guys a handout that has this information on there, but I did want to kind of hit some high points here with you guys. All right, so we're going to talk about two in one here, about some just classic children's literature awards that you guys probably remember from when you were kids. And the first is the Newbery Award. And I don't know about you, but I remember loving to go to the library when I was in elementary school, and it was drilled into me from an early age that if you saw a book on the bookshelf that had a Newbery Award medal on it, then you were really about to get a good book. As you can see here printed on this slide, that the Newbery Award is given to the author of basically the best children's book that was written the year prior. Of course, these are all these awards are going to be for books that are written in English, published in the United States. There is a little bit of an exception to that about some books that are translated on a later slide. But anyway, the John Newbery Award, I really feel like this is the king of the awards. And there are some familiar titles that we have here. 2004, The Tale of Despereaux. My kids love that book. It's actually sitting on the bookshelf next to me. It's a keeper in the Gandy household. We have the book Holes. The book Holes also has a special place for me because that was the book that got my reluctant son. My son was a reluctant reader, and this was the one that got him to read for fun for the first time. So Holes, they also made a Disney movie about that. So I think a lot of times kids like to find books that have movies that have been made of them because it gives them a little sense of familiarity. Also, we have The Giver by Lois Lowry. That's one of those books that kind of hits that middle ground, middle school reader, and that is also kind of become a classic middle school read. All right, so that's the Newbery Award, and I feel like any book that we look at to purchase that has come from a list associated with the Newbery Award is going to be a solid purchase for our library. All right, the second here is, and I'm not sure where it says Caldecott. It's supposed to say Caldecott up here at the top, but the second award is the Caldecott Award, and this is the book that I really enjoyed when I was a youngster, because this is the award that's given to the books that have the best illustration for children in there. And as you know, little kids love the pictures in the books. Now they're learning to read, of course, but the pictures kind of help carry the story along for them. But the good thing too is that a book that has the Caldecott medal, those are going to be fun for the adults to look at as well. We have some familiar titles here, Where the Wild Things Are, Why Mosquitoes Buzz in People's Ears, and The Polar Express. I think we've all heard of that one. All right, the next award here, this is one as a high school teacher is really interesting and important to me, and this is the Michael L. Prince Award. This is the award that's given to the best literary work for young adult literature, for teen readers. And I can tell you as a high school teacher, getting kids into the library to read for fun is really a worthy goal. And in order to do that, you have got to have a collection of books for these kids that they want to read, that they feel like they're not being talked down to or preached at when they read these books. And I think that looking at books that show up as nominees or as winners or even as honor award winners of the Michael L. Prince Award it's gonna help us really get a solid collection in that high school library. Some books that you might have heard of, and there are a bunch of books that win this because they up to 4 works are selected each year. So the winning list is quite lengthy, which is good for us. But Jellicoe Road was pretty popular a few years ago. And Looking for Alaska by John Green. I love this because that book is set here in Alabama at a boarding school, and I actually pass that boarding school every single day on the way to work. They mention a gas station that some of the characters go to from that boarding school. They walk. I pass that gas station every day on the way to work. So that's a lot of fun. So if we can kind of delve into the Michael L. Prince Award nominees and recipients, I think we'll really have some good additions to our collection. We have the Coretta Scott King Award. The Geisel Honor Book. I love that because it's named after Dr. Seuss. Here's The Giver again. There's Laura Ingalls Wilder. I love that. Excellence in Video Awards. And again, you have a handout that has all of this information. This is the other award that I really wanted to talk about. And this is, as you can see, called the Alex Award. I love this because, like I said, teen readers don't want to be talked down to. And this award is given to books that are actually written for adults, but that probably have some pretty interesting topics or themes or plots for teen readers. So they're not necessarily written for teens, but teens will enjoy them. And I have personally read Red, White, and Royal Blue. That was a cute book. And The Sea of Tranquility. The Sea of Tranquility is maybe one of my favorite books. It does have a little bit of a deep plot to it because both of the main characters, the male and the female, the hero and heroine, if you will, have some trauma in their background that they're trying to process through. And just really kind of an interesting thing because this is how, as an adult, you can connect with some teen readers. When they say, do you have any books, that aren't necessarily like kid books? And this award list here will help us kind of cull some books that are more appropriate for kids, but still are, interesting to adults and kids alike, and maybe for an older high school reader, though, maybe probably 11th or 12th grade. All right, so those are some awards. They're not all the awards. I like this one, the Pura Belpre Award as well. As a Spanish teacher by trade for 25 years, this one really speaks to me because it really focuses on Latino authors and illustrators. And I love that. I love representation for our kids. We have such a diverse population at Oak Mountain. People don't know that. Okay, and like I said, we do have, here are my references right there. I do have at the end of this presentation, which is now, a little bit of a formative assessment. It says formative assessment. Really, it's just some feedback that I'd like to get from you guys. And so I'm going to send you a link to this Google form. It's just a 2-question Google form. And I just would like to know which awards had you heard of before. Some of these were brand new to me. And some of them I had heard of before. But I love, like I said, I love the Geisel Honor books, the Alex Award I love there. And then as we are thinking about how we're going to spend our money for our library media centers in the Oak Mountain community, I would like to kind of, after you think about what we've talked about in this presentation and after you've looked at the handout that I've given you, I would like for you to, if you could, make a suggestion down here of 1 or 2 awards where you feel like we should focus. And if you want to put for the elementary, intermediate, middle, or high school level, that would be helpful too, just because, I would like to use this information from this Google form to guide our purchases and the committee like I said earlier, being made up of various stakeholders, including parents and teachers and admin, I think that it's important that we kind of get some perspective from all of you guys on where it is best that we spend our money. Okay, and I am not actually sure. Let me see if that, let me try that one more time. Let me try this, because I don't think that came through. Let me show you again this award thing. Here it is. Okay, sorry about that. So here are the awards that are listed here. So it's just a checkbox. You can check all that apply. And like I said, to put down the books that you want to nominate, or the awards that you'd like to use, if you'll just put your answer down here, that would be very helpful. All right, so let's see. If you have any questions, you have my email. And thank you for coming to this presentation. And I hope that I walked you down memory lane a little bit with the Newberry and Caldecott, and that for those of us that really want to focus on the high school library, that we did see some interesting information there. All right, so I'll look forward to getting those Google form, that data back from you guys as soon as possible. Thanks.